Hello, everyone. My name is Celine. I am a serial entrepreneur, and I am a business angel. Today, I'm here to talk to you about what will be my company in 5 years. So first, I would like to introduce you about the two companies I created. The first company I created 7 years ago, Litchi.com, is a group payment application. Clearly, it enables you to collect money online from your friends, from your colleagues, from strangers, for a group birthday gift, for charity, for a stag and party, any kind of purpose where you want to collect money online. It started quite small because I was still a student, so I started everything with my friends. They made the first money pot, and by the time, it has grown quite quickly. 7 years after, we have more than 6 million active users in more than 150 countries. The second venture I created 3 years ago is Mangopay. It comes from my experience with Litchi because I didn't have any payment solution dedicated to crowdfunding, a payment solution where you can collect the payment, escrow the money, and pay out the cash. So I decided to create it Mangopay because there wasn't any solution at the time. So Mangopay is an API. It's a white label solution dedicated to crowdfunding, collaborative consumption platforms, and marketplaces. We operate in all the world, of course, and we have more than 1,500 platforms using Mangopay to escrow the money and pay out the cash. We have customers such as Chrono24, Syndicate Room, Vestiaire Collective, in all the European markets. Mangopay has faced quite an amazing growth. We started 3 years ago, as I said. The first year, we processed 90 million euros. The second year, 200 million euros. And this year, we are processing 400 million euros. And we can't stop the rocket. We are on track to target 1 billion euro for next year, only thanks to the growth of our actual customers. And we plan to reach 20 billion euros in 2021, in 5 years. 1 billion next year, 20 billion in the next 5 years. Now I could spend the rest of my speech dropping you charts and numbers and explanation about how are we going to target this, how are we going to make it. But I think there is things more important in my experience I would like to share with you. Because our industry is changing very quickly, the environment is changing a lot of time. 5 years from here to the past, it's about like internet was about 20 years old, so it's 25% of the age of our industry. So it's hard to make prediction, and it's hard to predicate the future. And I believe there is things more important is how do you adapt to yourself? What kind of company do you build that is able to face the change, that is able to face a huge industry changing all the time? The world is smaller, the world is changing a lot. We would have never expected to have platforms where refugees can find home, platforms such as Uber where you can transport yourself, so many changes ahead. If 5 years ago anyone would have asked me where would have been Litchi, my first company, I would have never expected it is where it is right now. Never, because things have been far, far more beyond my expectation. And I would like to share you an anecdote that happened really, really recently. So this kid is Nino. He's 12 years old. He has, unfortunately, multiple disabilities. He's French. He's living in Paris. And he needs a surgery at the Hôpital Necker in Paris, so quite a famous hospital. But unfortunately, all the docs tell his mom and his family, we are sorry, we don't have the materials to give the surgery to your kid, so he won't be able to walk. So her mother is a little bit struggled, and she finds any way, any kind of solution to, of course, save her kid. And she has the idea a couple of weeks ago to open a money pot on Litchi, to raise the money, to buy the equipment, and to give the equipment to the hospital. She raised 40k euros from 700 people she doesn't know about in a couple of days. She gave, of course, the material to the Hôpital Necker, and the kid had his surgery 2 weeks ago. It's something I would have never expected, never. How do you imagine to create a company where you can help people to solve their group birthday gift problem, and finally you arrive to save a kid? This is something that clearly went beyond my expectation. And in fact, it comes to the idea that the crowd is taking the power. We have the chance, the amazing chance, to live in a world where we don't need leaders anymore. We can all change our future. We can all be acting and being actors of our future. So the point for me in creating Mangopay was clearly to give this platform the solution, the payment solution, where they can take the revolution, because they need a secure payment tool to manage the revolution. But the most important here, I think, it's not only about growing, it's about how you grow. And it's what I try to explain with this anecdote about Nino and the kid. Because at some point, as a team leader, you have some responsibilities. I clearly believe that the responsibilities I have as a team leader is to help the people in my company grow, to give them the right tools, give them the right information. For example, we don't hire based on skills, we hire based on behavior, because we clearly believe you can empower your skills, you can change the level of your skills, but you never change the way you behave. Actually, an asshole stay an asshole, and a nice person stay a nice person. It doesn't change. We also believe you have to give to the people the keys. You have to promote them and not micromanage them. It's way more easy to micromanage people. It's more complicated to give them the power and help them raise and help them shine. The good point about this is that we don't need to sign like the diversity charters, or we don't need this because we live it. We have 40% of women in our company, and believe me, it's a huge challenge in a fintech company. We have more than 18 different nationalities in a company with 70 people. We have lots of people from different social backgrounds, from different experience. And you could ask me, yes, but what for? Well, when you have people with different experience, different social background, and diversity, they are more willing to innovate because they are more willing to create and they are more willing to solve a problem. Maybe you've been aware about an experience that started a couple of years ago. The name is Polymath. It's a mathematical experience where people put online an unresolved mathematical challenge and ask to the crowd to solve the problem. The amazing thing is that, of course, the problem was solved, but it was solved in different ways. So if we brought the diversity, then we can solve problem quicker, and even we can solve problem with different solutions. My last point would be about who are you? Because if you want to change the world, if you want to change your company, if you want to empower a company, who are you and who do you want to be in 5 years? So you should keep this question in mind today. Who are you and who do you want to be in 5 years? I believe as an entrepreneur, what we call a role model, I have my responsibilities to give back to the ecosystem. I have to tell people it's easy. Not easy, sorry. It's doable to be an entrepreneur, to change your future. I have to invest in company. I have to give the time I have been given because it is the way we are going to build the leaders of tomorrow, and it is the way from which we're going to change our world. The last thing I would like to say is to quote Steve Jobs, because I have to find a way to conclude. So he said, being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. Going to bed saying we've done something wonderful, that's what matters to me. Thank you.